If you're watching this video, it's probably because you're having a problem with your, as I call it, the Ruixin Pro. I don't know how it's really spelled, but I call it the Ruixin Pro knife sharpener. And you're probably having problems with it. You're finding that the when you flip the blade over, that it doesn't hold the angle to 15 degrees. This center barrel here is set to 15 degrees across here, which this knife holder also has to be set at 15 degrees also, so that when you flip your knife over, you get 15 degrees here and you come to 15 degrees here. Now when I first got this, it was off 2 degrees one way, which made it off 4 degrees total, because it was off 2 degrees one way and then 2 degrees off the other way, which made it a total of 4 degrees off. So that being said, I just checked it with my digital protractor, and it's coming up 1515 right there, very close to it. And so the easy fix for that was, I'm going to remove the knife just so I don't hurt myself. I didn't notice that much when I used it on a thinner knife, but then when I went to adjust the, when I put the, what do you call it, the chopper, the, well, can't think of the name of it, but when I put that in there, it flipped, it really shone. I could see it when I would flip it over, it would stick up on an angle this way, and then when I would flip it over, it would be down lower, and I was like, oh, it is off. It is way off. So what I found, just the way I'm seeing it, is that it's actually this bottom plate here which sets the angle that the knife is going to sit at, the cleaver. And that is what the top plate with the Ruixin Pro insignia on it, that is just a clamp down which holds the knife in place. But it is really this bottom plate here which sets your knife angle. And as you can see, it's not stamped perfectly. That's where the problem is. But it is an easy fix. So I removed the 3 screws from this side, which in turn released this bar here, and then I removed these 2 screws back here, and along the back, a little hard to see, but I cut electrical tape, and they were thin, about maybe 3/16, not under a 1/4 of an inch wide, maybe a 1/4 of an inch wide. And I cut, I think I stacked 3 or 4 of those on top of each other, right behind where the screws are. And then put the screws back in. I had 3 in there. I started with 2. I put it back together again. I checked it with the digital protractor. I went to 3. Still wasn't enough. I went to 4. I think I ended up using 4. It all depends on how far your knife holder the holder is off. Yours may vary, or maybe yours is dead on, 15 degrees, 15 degrees. It's perfectly centered. But now I'm getting, no matter how I flip it, I'm getting a nice 15 degrees on both sides. And that was just a little tweaking. It wasn't much to, if I could zoom in on it a little bit, you can just about see that black plastic in there, the electrical tape, and that's got it pretty much. It's got it pretty much dead on now. And like I said, it was an easy fix. And so now when I set my sharpening stone angle, I get the same cut on both sides of the blade. And what I actually do is I mark the edge of the knife blade just so I can find my angle. I mark my knife edge with a black magic marker, and then I use a what they call a photographer's loop, a small 10 power magnifier. I have it around here somewhere. I use a small 10 power magnifier and take a few glances over it with the sharpening stone, and then take a quick look at it and see how I'm taking, where I'm taking the edge off. How am I just taking off the edge, or am I taking off the whole thing? Or then I can get a good look, and then I can make my adjustment here to the height of the sharpening stone. And I come out. That's how I find. I hear people often ask me, how do you find the angle for your knife? Well, from what I understand, most American knives are ground at 20 degrees, 22 degrees, something like that. But actually, if you really want to find out exactly what your blade angle is, like I said, you have to actually physically look at it under some kind of magnifier, and like I said, use the magic marker and see how it's removing the metal, and that'll be your indicator. And you can make small adjustments to that. But yeah, that was a lot of people are asking me about that. It came up on another YouTube about questioning how to adjust this the blade. I know a lot of people mentioned that theirs is off, and like I said, if it's off 1 degree, it'll actually be off 2 degrees. If it's off 3 degrees, it'll actually be off 6 degrees. So that is the fix for it. That is the fix. And you can almost see how this bottom plate, a little hard to tell, but I think if you put this bottom plate on a really flat surface, you would see that it's not really flat as it should be. This angle here is not the same as that angle there, so it just needed to be adjusted with that little bit of strips of tape behind it there to act as shims to bring it into that 15 degrees, which it needs to be. All right, guys, I hope that helps you out. It certainly helped me out. Once it's done, you're good to go. I mean, it's set. It's a done deal. So, yeah, for 50 bucks or somewhere between $50 and $60, I find it to be a real nice knife sharpener if you have some nice stones to use with it. And I have no problem with it now that one tweak is done there. And I did some of the other little tweaks to it that you'll see around the internet of what to do to hold that in place or whatever, to lock that down, and thumb screw there to hold it in place, and all that. But that's the usual stuff. But all right, so I didn't see anybody else on the internet doing a video on how to adjust that angle, your blade angle. But that would be it. A couple strips of thin electrical tape back there behind those two bottom screws. Done deal. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. Bye.